Have you heard of Akkermansia? A-K-K-E-R mantia. Akkermansia. Some sort of bacteria in the gut. Very beneficial for the body. When this Akkermansia is active, it's almost impossible to gain weight. You can take supplements of Akkermansia, I suppose. Although I don't believe or trust the sources of Akkermansia, so I rather trust my instinct and do it naturally. Eat the most common healthy foods, at my disposal: meat, dairy, fish, yeah? And then sunbathe. What more can you do? Well, nothing more. I mean, that's the essential. Sunbathe, exercise, that sort of thing. I have to start sunbathing more often because we are at the end of summer almost. I have to take advantage of every ray of sun, so to speak, because it's going to be a period the sun is going to be too far away from us, and you're going to be unable to undress, right? Because it's going to be very cold. So I'm going to have to take advantage of it. Sunbathe. Don't use glasses, sunglasses. Don't use them. The sun literally will penetrate your eyes. It will enlarge the veins, yeah, to humidify the eyes, to refresh, to, you know, it will go straight to the brain as well from the eyes into your third eye, yeah, the anatomical third eye, not the, metaphysical one. The anatomical one, which is the what's it called again? Can't remember. Mm. Do not use any lotions to cover your skin. That's just creating a barrier. No, those lotions are actually, not that I'm a specialist or a doctor, but in my opinion, they are not good for you. I roll my eyes when my sister is like, "Oh, I'm going on to the beach and I'm just have to get some more lotion, for me and the kids." And I'm like, ugh, what's wrong with these people? Eat some meat and dairy. You don't need any lotions. Eat some meat and dairy and go play, at the at the beach. That's most healthy thing you can do. So when they say the sun causes, el cancer, I don't believe them. I'm sorry, I don't. It's something else, but it's not the sun. It's something else. But they often mistake the firemen for the fire. Whenever there's a fire, firemen, usually, the first ones at the scene try to put it out, and people come after. Look, it's the firemen that, logically, then that's a lack of logic. It's a fallacy, blaming the firemen just because they were the first ones in the scene. It has to be them. Stupid. So enjoy the sun. The nudists, they know something. No, yes, they know something nobody else does. They sunbathe completely from head to toe, and especially the genital areas. Those areas are darker than usual. They are darker than usual if you realized. Why? They are more concentrated in melanin, you know And more melanin means more sunlight. If you're having trouble, conceiving, you can think about, sunbathing those areas. Yeah. So the nudists, they know something, everybody else is just, oh, horror. There was a joke I was trying to remember. How do you find, how do you find someone who suffers from erectile dysfunction in a nudist beach? They are hard to find. Something like that. You don't see a hard on. Yeah, it's a joke. Yeah, but they are right. Yeah, you can do it, in the privacy of your home. Yeah, it's very healthy. Anyway, it's incredible. I saw this picture from 200 years ago. Well, not really 200. I think it was 1800s at the turn of the century, 100 plus years ago. When the first cameras was available, I suppose. And women in Africa, North Africa, was all topless. You know, everybody was topless. Guess what happened? The religion that we can't speak of took over, and they had to cover everything. Yep, no more topless. I have a theory about covering, the whole body. Men are visual, they are visual creatures. At a distance, we look and we say, you know. But if everything is covered, we'll be like, I can't see clearly. I have to get near. And I have to use my imagination as well, you know. So from a distance, you will decide to approach or not if people, show the skin. At the distance, you can choose. But if they are all covered, at a distance, you can't see clearly. You have to get closer and closer, eventually talk to them, and use your imagination. You can't spot if they're ugly or not. I mean, if they're fat, you can spot as easily, but you can't say if they're ugly or not. So if you cover your face, like women used to do in Italy, during Italy Renaissance times, I suppose, to increase mystery, they would put a mask. Yeah, you could only see their eyes. So it was very mysterious. So men would have to use their imagination and sense the hormones, for more specifically, the the what's it called, pheromones. You would have to follow your senses more, in the undetected senses. So the visual was sabotaged. You couldn't see. I mean, they could have rotten teeth, or they could have a big mole in the nose. You would find out probably the next day when you woke up, right? That's why people use makeup and all that stuff. It's a strategy to hide, to manipulate. And, I suppose they started covering themselves because of that. It is in that culture, in that specific religion we can't mention, they only see the face of their partner the day of their marriage. Surprise! You know, you can't back down. You can't walk away in that situation. They will execute you. You fixed. Surprise! It's a big surprise. And the reason why they cover themselves, uh, they do it to themselves. It's not someone is forcing it on them. It kind of became a cultural thing. What is culture? When people of the same likeness, people who share the same likenesses. I like this type of clothes. I like this type of music. I like this type of thing. Regardless of the way they look, stop being a bigot. I mean, the color of your skin. Um, but it's the same thing as they like, they enjoy. They come together and they bond. Yeah. And it became cultural, acceptable. It became a norm to cover from head to toe. It creates surprise. You just let the pheromones do all the work. You know, no wonder why they are a country with high levels of birth. You know, they don't see each other only in, I don't know, indoors. It has nothing to do with lust or coveting of others. No, it just increases the mystery. What puts you off, at a distance when you see someone laughing, or you look at their expressions, it kind of puts you off, right? Well, if you cover your face, that's not going to happen. You're just going with the pheromones, and that's it. It's a good strategy, you know. There are other cultures that mutilate the genitals. That's for the purpose of avoiding you masturbating. They don't want you masturbating. No, they want you chasing. They want you to get off only with a partner. They don't want you masturbating. So that's why they mutilate the genitals. Guys, and women, uh, if you're not, you know, willing to put up with bullshit, from time to time, you just spank the meat and be over with it. We were born with this capability. Yeah. But sometimes situations, people get so toxic. I mean, it's just not worth it. Yeah. And people in the past, when they forced people into marriage, their children into marriage and everything, they wanted to stop them from masturbating. Otherwise, they will never find a partner. What they wanted was them to get out of the house as quickly as possible. Every household, hey, I had like 10 children. The worst nightmare is nobody get married. They all stay around. No, they only want one to stay around. It's the one who's going to take care of them when they're old. The rest, they have to go, abandon the nest. So keeping them from masturbating was a tactic. Hiding their faces was a tactic to create more mystery, like using makeup and wigs and whatever. So, yeah. Anyway,